What's up, boxing fans? This is TBE Boxing, back at you again. Today's topic, Amir Khan thinks he can beat Kell Brook after Kell Brook's recent loss to Crawford. I think he's making a big mistake. Let's chop it up and see what it's all about.
Got the money for minutes, pretty bitch, gotta show me titties. This is the life I chose, on the block with the pole, This is the life that I chose, on the block with the pole, That life you for riches, That life you for riches, Pretty bitch, show me titties, And I got the glazzy run up on me, I'ma make you get it. I'ma make you get it.
Okay, boxing fans, let's talk some more boxing. All right. So reports are out there now that Amir King Khan is looking to finally, after many years of basically, I guess you can call it ducking Kell Brook, he decided that he wants to fight Kell Brook in 2021 and to finally shut him up, as he said, as you know, he was quoted him saying, which by shutting him up, he means because Kell Brook has been calling him out for years and he's been basically saying he wasn't interested in the fight. But now he seems ready to go ahead and face Kell Brook. Now, the question we have to ask is, why is that? Why after 10 years of someone calling him out, Kell Brook that is calling out Khan, is he finally deciding that, you know, he wants to fight Kell Brook? Well, it might have something to do with the fact that Kell Brook was stopped in his last fight against pound for pound WBO kingpin Terrence Iceman Bud Crawford. And so, you know, Bud basically stopped Kell Brook in 4 rounds with a spectacular knockout. And, you know, I'm pretty sure Khan saw that fight. And he feels that, you know, there's a lot of rumors going around now since, you know, Crawford stopped Kell Brook that, you know, possibly Kell Brook, you know, is washed, you know, his punch resistance is down, this, that, and the other. But I'm not one to believe any of that stuff, you know. I mean, most people don't really want to give Crawford any credit for anything he does. So now that's the narrative that they're running, that, you know, he beat Kell Brook so easily because Kell Brook was so-called quote-unquote washed. I don't buy it, okay? I don't buy it at all, okay? And so I'm pretty sure this is what Khan also believed, that maybe Kell Brook, you know, is vulnerable, and so now he decided that he's ready to take the fight. Now, ironically, Khan also lost to Crawford, and that fight went 5 rounds. So it went 1 more round than the Kell Brook fight, and he got stopped by Terrence Crawford. But at the end of the day, the way Crawford stopped Brook and the way he stopped Khan was 2 different, you know, kettle of fish, basically. In the Brook Crawford fight, both guys battled it out as warriors, okay? And Kell Brook lost, okay? And in the Khan fight with Crawford, Khan basically quit on a low blow. He got hit by a low blow and decided that he couldn't continue. So personally, you know, I believe that the way Kell Brook lost was more honorable than the way Khan lost. I think Khan just quit because he didn't want to get knocked out. But, you know, Kell Brook went out on his shield. And, you know, so to me, that's a more honorable fight. And I'd give Kell Brook way more credit than I give Khan. Okay, I mean, that's me personally. People might, you know, look at it differently, but that's how I see it. Okay, so if I had a choice to be both people, I would rather be Kell Brook than Khan in those fights. Okay, that's how I look at it. So anyway, in the fight with Kell Brook, you know, and Crawford hurt Kell Brook. What Kell Brook said that that's the first thing that ever happened to him in his whole life, in his whole career, whether in the boxing ring or in sparring. And we're talking about a guy, Kell Brook, who has fought Golovkin, okay, and Errol Spence Jr. So, you know, he's saying that he, in all the fights he's had, including one with Golovkin, he has never been hurt like that as he was against Crawford. So that's, you know, says a lot about Crawford, okay? And he says a lot about Book as well because he was honest about that, and he basically didn't shy away from giving Crawford the credit that he deserved in that fight. And I saw the fight, and I've never seen Book hurt, even in the Golovkin fight. He wasn't hurt. He got his eye socket broken, but he wasn't on dizzy street. You know what I mean? He didn't get wobbled or dizzy, or he just got an injury. It's like a headbutt or any other injury. He got an injury that he couldn't continue with, and it was the same thing in the Errol Spence fight. He got an injury to the other eye socket, and he couldn't continue. But he didn't get hurt or put on Queer Street by Errol Spence or Golovkin. But against Crawford, he did get put on Queer Street. He was out. I mean, and he would have been out, even though he never left his feet. The referee stopped the fight. So yeah, so that's how that fight went. So it looks like, Amir Khan is drinking the Kool-Aid. He listened to the people out there talking about, oh, Kell Brook is washed because, Crawford beat him. His punch resistance is down. Like I said, I'm not really buying any of that. I would have to see Kell Brook fight some other fights before I could say that, okay? Because I'm thinking that he just got caught with a good shot that he never saw. And, Crawford can punch a lot harder than people think. And I think that, combined with the fact that Kell Brook was coming in getting ready to deliver a punch when he got caught, with a quick punch from Crawford, that the punch had a lot more power behind it than ordinarily it would have, and so if he was moving away from it, and so he got caught by a punch he didn't see coming. Because obviously, if you look at that clip, you will see that he never saw the punch coming and just got caught, and so that happens. And like they say, it's the punch that you don't see that's the one that gets it. All right, so as for the talk about Kell being washed, like I said, I want to see him fight some other people because to me, it looked like he was in great shape. He had plenty of time to train for this fight. He was in the best shape of his life, as he himself said. He was coming off a win, off 3 wins, consecutively. Okay, and he was. I think he was in better condition than he was for the Spence fight, because in the Spence fight, he was coming down off of a loss and an injury against Golovkin. One of the most feared men in the middleweight division at the time, and so. He got injured and he lost, and he was coming down in weight in a few months so he could fight Errol Spence. So, I mean, that wasn't a good look, but it's been like almost 3 years now since that fight, and he's had 3 wins in 154 pounds, and he was in great shape, and there was no issue with the eye, because the eye has had like 3 years, both eyes had 3 years to basically heal. And and so that wasn't an issue, and so weight wasn't an issue for him because he had plenty of time, over a year, to lose the weight, and so he was in great shape. So I'm thinking that the Crawford, the Book that fought Crawford could beat a lot of the welterweights out there. Okay, right now top welterweights like Danny Garcia, he could probably beat Porter again, who he beat to get the championship, the IBF title in the first place, and he beat Porter when Porter was undefeated. Okay, so I'm thinking, he can probably beat Ugas, okay, Manny Pacquiao. I'm pretty sure that the Book that we saw fight Crawford can be a lot of these top guys at welterweights, and a lot of the other guys at welterweight that's in the top 10. I mean, that's what I think, and so. The idea that he's washed or whatever just because he lost to Crawford, it's just a narrative that most people out there running. I would have to see him fight some other people first to say, well, he's washed, because how could he be washed when he's coming off 3 wins against 154 pounders that hit harder than 147 pounders, and he knocked out one of those guys he just won against with a jab. Okay, so this talk about him being washed, I think is just I think it's nonsense, really. Okay, and like I said, I want to see him fight more before I can say, well, yeah, this guy is washed. Just because you lost to Crawford, that doesn't mean you're washed. It's just because people don't want to give Crawford the credit that he deserves. Okay, and it's just that simple. So I'm thinking that Amir Khan is, has miscalculated in this fight, and he's gonna get a rude awakening when he fights Kell Brook. You're gonna see that Kell Brook, is probably still, a top tier welterweight, and that he's not washed like people are out there saying. So if I was him, I wouldn't believe what I'm hearing from these people out there. Okay, so but we'll see, how it shapes up, because again, uh, I mean, Amir Khan is coming off a win against a guy called Billy Dib. Okay, he fought him in Saudi Arabia, and I think he stopped him in like 6 rounds or something like that. So he actually is coming off a win, even though he hasn't fought since then. Okay, and so when it comes to actual fighting, Kell Brook is probably the fresher of the two in terms of staying busy in term without So we'll see how it shapes up. The fight actually happens. I think Amir is talking about fighting in April or May, somewhere around there, and that would be a great fight to start off the 2021. I would love to see that fight myself, but I think that I would go with Kell Brook, okay, in that fight. I would, if I was to bet money, I would put it on Kell Brook in that fight. I think he has more than enough left to beat a guy like Khan, who basically, like I said, quit against Crawford because he didn't want to get knocked out. Okay, so he quit, on a low blow, which is to me, that was kind of weak. Okay, I mean, but it is what it is. I mean, that's how it goes in boxing sometimes. So yeah, that should be an interesting fight. Brook versus Khan. I would love to see it. I hope they actually make the fight. Okay, and I'll definitely tune in for that fight. Okay, and so we'll see if Amir Khan's gamble pays off, and we'll also be able to judge whether or not Kell Brook is washed, as people are out there saying. But I'm not buying that. I don't believe it. I'll have to see it to believe it. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, okay, and so you can get my videos when they come out. This is TBE Boxing. That's all I have. I'm out.